BTS News Today. The sky over Seoul began to change color, from bright blue to a dim shade of violet, as the sun slowly disappeared behind the towering buildings of Hanamdong. While traffic crawled through the city that never truly sleeps, a subtle tension loomed over the K-pop fan community, especially among ARMY, the loyal fans of BTS. Not because of a breakup, not because of a scandal, but because of something that felt monumental, something approaching, yet still officially unannounced: Jungkook's solo tour. The rumors had been swirling since the beginning of the year, slowly turning into a storm shaking the fandom. From gold-plated in-ear monitors caught on camera during a secret sound check, to Jungkook's recent frequent appearances at studios and airports rather than Weverse Live. Speculation ran rampant, and one question echoed in every fan's mind: why hasn't it been officially announced? That night, at the top floor of a major music industry building in Gangnam, two figures sat across from each other in a practice room. The giant mirrors reflected their bodies, sweaty, exhausted, but never giving up. One of them was Jungkook. His face was drenched in sweat, yet his gaze was sharp, as if holding back 1,000 secrets ready to explode at any moment. In front of him stood a foreign choreographer who had been working with him for the past 3 months. "Take 5, the choreographer said, wiping sweat with a small towel. Jungkook nodded, then sat on the wooden floor of the studio, staring at the ceiling. He knew everyone was waiting. He could feel the pressure from the agency, from the media, from the fans. But more than anything, he felt the pressure from within himself. This wasn't just a tour. This was the story of his life he was about to write on stage without the 6 other members. This was a piece of his soul he had to express through songs, choreography, visuals, and voice. But why the delay in the announcement? Jungkook knew the answer. More than anyone else, he understood how complicated his world had become. A world where every step could be interpreted 100 ways. A world where surprises had to be handled like military strategies. He looked back at his phone screen, replaying a video of the last solo concert he had watched, the weekend show in Tokyo. He paid attention to how every audience member synced with the music, how every move of the artist merged with stage lights and the thump of the bass. That's what he wanted. Not just to perform, but to enchant. Not just to sing, but to express his deepest feelings. Suddenly, the studio door opened gently. A manager entered, carrying 2 bottles of water and a tablet displaying a schedule. Without a word, he handed it to Jungkook. On the screen, the draft itinerary appeared: Los Angeles, New York, Toronto, Paris, Berlin, Bangkok, Jakarta, Tokyo, Seoul. Jungkook sighed, running his fingers down the list of cities as if touching the faces of people waiting for him in different corners of the world. He wanted to go. He wanted to sing. But once again, his thoughts hit another wall. Timing. "We can't announce it yet," the manager said softly. "The label is still waiting on 2 international agencies. They're asking for time until the end of the month." Jungkook gave a small nod, though his chest tightened with a feeling hard to explain. He was no longer the kid who simply followed instructions and smiled for the camera. Now, he was an artist with a voice in everything, from stage lighting to the meaning of the lyrics. He stood slowly, looking at his reflection in the large studio mirror. His training clothes clung to his body, soaked in sweat, but in that reflection, he saw someone stronger than before. Someone who would take the stage and prove he could do it, even without the label BTS behind him. But he knew, whatever he did, he still carried that name in his blood and heartbeat. Meanwhile, outside, rumors only grew wilder. One of the biggest fanbase accounts on Twitter posted a tweet: "Police car light, rumor. Jungkook to hold a solo world tour titled Golden Eclipse this year. City list is starting to leak." But why hasn't Big Hit released an official announcement yet? Something big is coming? Eyes fire, ARMY went into a frenzy. Comments flooded the timeline. Some speculated the announcement would drop as a surprise during the upcoming BTS Festa event. Others were convinced Jungkook would debut the tour at the Grammy stage. Some even believed the delay was due to a secret duet with a global superstar. Names like Taylor Swift, Justin Bieber, and Billie Eilish were mentioned. In the midst of the online chaos, Jungkook simply watched in silence. He read the fan comments one by one, smiling at the funny memes made by ARMY. For Jungkook, they weren't just fans. They were home, a place he returned to after all the hard work and loneliness behind the scenes. That night, he sat on his apartment balcony, gazing at the gray Seoul sky. The summer breeze blew gently, carrying the scent of flowers from the garden below. He closed his eyes, listening to the demo of his own song. His guitar blended with his breath, The lyrics were simple but honest about loss, hope, and the freedom he longed for. A few days later, he flew quietly to Los Angeles. No post, no notification. But fans quickly picked up on the signals, blurry airport photos, and speculation about his stylist flying in the same direction. In LA, he met with his visual and creative team. They spent 2 nights in an editing room, refining stage mood boards, costumes, and transitions between songs. Jungkook sat calmly, approving each element that felt true to his soul: water, fire, and the night sky. When the production team asked why he chose the night sky as a central theme, his answer was simple: because it's the only thing I see when I feel lonely. And it's also what everyone else sees, even if I can't touch them. Yet still, there was no official announcement. Not even after the teaser video was complete. Not even after all the secret performances had been recorded. Many suspected commercial reasons were behind the delay: scheduling with album releases, sponsor deals, or even political considerations from global music labels. But one thing was certain: the delay only raised the tension. ARMY grew increasingly hungry, and anticipation turned into obsession. One unpredictable night, a mysterious account uploaded a 15-second clip. It was a single frame, Jungkook's silhouette standing on a dark stage, with a small white text beneath: "I'm not afraid anymore." The video went viral. It trended worldwide. And even without an official statement from Big Hit, fans knew this wasn't a rumor anymore. It was real. The tour was real. And the time was near. Jungkook sat alone in the practice room when a notification lit up his phone. A message from Bang PD. "We announce it on July 11th. Get ready. The world is waiting." He nodded, half smiling. His fingers quickly opened a file containing the song list. His eyes locked on the final song, "Still With You." Deep in his heart, he knew this tour wasn't just about music. It was about the courage to stand alone. About loving the process, accepting the pain, and still singing even when the world promised nothing in return. And when that moment arrived, when the spotlight hit and the purple ocean welcomed him, he would stand there, not as a shadow of anyone else, but as himself, as Jungkook, as a star no longer afraid of the dark. He was ready, and so was the world. The days leading up to July 11th were full of tension, not only for fans but for Jungkook himself. He could no longer sleep peacefully. Amid increasingly intense rehearsals and technical stage preparations, his mind kept circling back to one question: would the fans accept him in this form? Without the members, without RM cheering him on from the side, without Jimin rubbing his back before the show. One night, Jungkook quietly video called Jimin. At first, it was just his voice, no picture. But just hearing it calmed Jungkook. "I heard you're announcing your tour this week?" Jimin asked, his voice soft and soothing. "Yeah." Finally, Jungkook replied quietly. "Are you scared?" "Terrified."